Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. I am in a strange room in my mother's house in Wisconsin, and joining me is someone I've never seen before. I'm told his name is Josh, but I cannot confirm nor deny. Hello, Josh.
Hi, Charlie.
Josh Mansfield joins me with no beard.
No beard.
Beardless Josh. What is happening?
Yeah.
I've literally never seen you without a beard. Never.
It's the first time in 8 years I have not had a beard.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Like, Megan.
Even the New York Yankees allow beards now, Josh. It's okay. You can keep it.
Megan made the first cut, and I literally felt a breeze that I have not felt in almost a decade. I was like, that's a weird feeling. I talk sometimes, and like I get like my breath, like I feel it on my face sometimes, and it's just a very weird sensation. Yeah. Anyway, it's an odd experience. If anyone has not had a beard for a long time and then cut it off, like it's things that you would never think about.
So why do you have no beard?
Yes.
The people need to know.
People need to know. So as everyone knows, I start law school at BYU in Provo this week, actually, today. And at BYU, it's the school is subsidized by the LDS Church, and part of that is that their emphasis really is with that subsidization on like getting students jobs, right? It's like get in, get your degree, get out across all levels. And so part of their requirements are like a dress and grooming policy that are all designed around like you need to like have an appearance of professionalism, and part of that includes no beards. Do I think the rule is dumb? I do. Do I think it's archaic and originally popped up in the 70s when they were afraid of communists? It is. And they have since changed their reasoning. I give you like what the official reasoning is, but I hope that goes away before I'm done with law school.
That's wild.
It is wild.
It's also wild to me, like religion and like interest in facial hair. Like many religions like excessive amounts of facial hair.
I know.
Not the Mormon Church.
No.
Strange times. Well,
yeah.
I hope at least you enjoy the new breeze on the face.
I hate that I have to shave like every single day, like every day, or it looks.
You've got the like Tom Selleck mustache going though. I feel like you should like wear a cowboy hat and take a gun to class, because you can pass as an officer of the law at this point.
Sure. I feel much more like when I wear a hat, I feel like I look like a firefighter is what it looks like. 'Cause, like, and I've been around a lot of firefighters with the city, and like, they've all got mustaches, and I'm like, okay, so that's the look we're going for. So if like I show up in like, I don't know, some sort of like a firefighting affiliated T-shirt, then that's why I'm just leaning into that look. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are we're kind of in the beginning of the end of the tour. Mm-hmm. We had Ledgestone this past weekend. We roll right into Idlewild, and we're on our way to the playoffs. Like it's all happening right now. So we're going to do some fun stuff today. Josh and I have kind of just keep a list of things we're thinking about, and today we're getting it all off our chest. It's the What's on Your Mind segment, where we just bring up stuff that's on our mind for whatever reason, and we talk about it. We've got a bunch of cool stuff coming up as well. I'm fighting to the death to get Owen Scoggins on the show. She was not free this morning because she was practicing for Idlewild because she's got that dog in her, so you understand that. Like,
yeah.
You can't blame the dog for getting out there and trying to keep this hot streak going. But at some point we will get her on when we can get a time scheduled for all of us that fits. Josh's schedule is a little more strict now because of law school getting started. Completely understandable, normal thing.
Yes.
But let's talk a little Ledgestone first. We did do a rapid reacts as always, so check that out. And by the way, speaking of the benefits of being a subscriber to Multi-World Disc Golf, somebody came into the chat at the end of July, and they said, this is from Isaac. He said, I have been a supporter for 2 years and have just now joined the Discord. This is where the fun is. And that is the facts. I'm telling you.
It's so true.
The Multi-World Disc Golf Discord is is the spot to hang out and watch disc golf and talk disc golf.
I almost forget what it's like to not be a part of that Discord. It's like that chat is as close as you get to like hanging out with a big group of people, like all watching disc golf together. You've got some pretty cool people that come in for the rapid reacts with like real information for us. I mean, you got like Mahmood jumps in, producer of DGN, Brian Earhart jumps in, Esapeka jumps in, like JVD. We got a lot of folks who jump in, and
there's some burner account pros in there too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
They don't really like stick their neck out too much but I know of some pros who are in the chat for sure.
It's a great time. I mean, it is the place to be when watching disc golf and for the rapid reacts. It's
a lot of fun.
Well worth it.
You get access to all the rapid reacts past. If you're not listening live, you get them in your own private RSS feed. So anyway, go over to discgolf.ultral.com/subscribe, join up. Stretch run coming up. Can't wait. I'm really looking forward. I'm going to be commentating USDGC this year. So that's super exciting. I think this will be I've done Throw Pink, I think 2 years in a row now, but this will be my first time also doing USDGC.
That's sick.
It's a real honor to get the opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, Ledgestone.
Yes.
Gannon Burr mopped everybody again, Josh, and he did it without shooting a hot round once again. He finishes up with a 1073 rated 11 down to easily hold off any kind of challengers. A few people shot at 12. Kyle Klein finished in second place. Discmania low-key having a great season. Just noting.
Listen, man, I said it at the beginning of the season. I said Discmania is going to be the real deal. I really thought that they would be. Kyle Klein is just steady and consistent. Even if he doesn't get wins, I would even say this is a little bit of a down season for him. But, obviously when you have the world's best player and like what feels like the next GOAT on your team, you're in great company.
And the best player in Europe.
And the best player in Europe. Yep. And the best player in Europe. You just have like, and then Ella, who also has a ceiling.
Just shot the highest rated round of all time in FPO.
Yeah, I mean, Discmania has a fire team, and they're proving it.
So anyway, Gannon wins by 5 strokes. Isaac Robinson up on the podium. A lot of good players played well this weekend, I think. AB, Calvin right there in the top 10. Macbeth played great until the final round. Feels like he's had these opportunities to like win a tournament going into the final rounds and kind of has not showed up for those moments for the most part this season. Still playing well, just feels like we haven't quite seen him connect with that full tournament performance that I think defined the last time he won at PCS Open, right? That's the last time he won, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And that was that full tournament performance, and he was incredible that weekend.
Yeah, no, he absolutely was. But you talk about top players being at the top here at Ledgestone. Expected, right? Like, welcome. It's a legacy tournament. It's 4 rounds. It's on good courses. These players have played it a lot. They know, and Nate Heinold even came on and was like, we're just not making any changes to this course, right? Like these courses are what they are. And it makes sense then that your top players, guys who have played it forever, are always, are at the top this weekend. It was a lot of fun to watch. Gannon just shred. And, you mentioned he wins. What did he win by 5? Was it?
Yeah.
Should have been more. Win OB slipped on the 18th. And his disc went OB on 18. He didn't have to push for that birdie, but as you know, he's trying to hit the all-time record, and so he cares about every stroke and ends up costing himself a bogey.
Prior to that, he had birdied, I think it was 12 of the previous 13 holes.
Oh my goodness.
It's just like the dude is unstoppable right now. 1069 event rating. He is going to have a shot to eclipse Paul Macbeth's all-time record rating, and it could happen as soon as the September update. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll see what he can do coming up here at Idlewild. Otherwise, like, I don't know. Gannon is taking the oxygen out of the room at these tournaments where he's got leads going into the final round. I think there's like a sense of inevitability that we really haven't felt since Prime Macbeth. Um, and for whatever reason, we can get into this, and we'll probably touch on this topic in our What's on Your Mind segment. I think people tuned in to watch Macbeth win by 5 strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like more of like I don't want to watch when Gannon's got a big lead. This is a really interesting dichotomy between like the greatness and the perceived fandom and like how much people enjoy watching the player compete.
Yeah. I want to get into that because I think I have some suspicions about why that might be. But part of it, and we've talked about it before, is, and it's so funny because, like, I have a sense that Macbeth does this a little bit too. Probably not to the same extent, but Gannon will blame external factors as a way to like externalize bad shots so that he can stay in the zone. And he said it in his interview after Worlds. We asked him, and he's like, yeah, I do it because I don't have to like accept responsibility for those shots, and I can stay in the zone. And like, it's inside the round itself is not the time to be, oh my gosh, like, wow, that was a terrible shot. What went wrong? I really need to fix that, right? It's micro adjustments. If you're thinking about big changes and issues with your swing, you're not winning tournaments. No way. And so it makes sense about this idea of just keeping yourself in the zone. But he's very external with it, and people don't like it. And so I'm excited to see back results from the fandom survey and kind of continue to see this like trend of people's fandom of Gannon. And we'll talk a little bit more about timing in the later segment.
Speaking of the disc golf fandom survey, I believe it's open for like another day. There's not much time left.
I thought it was the 25th. Am I crazy?
You could be right. I'm trying to find the exact day. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It closes soon, so take it when you hear this podcast. Go to discgolfsurvey.com, take the fandom survey. Word from the guys running the survey is that there actually have even more participants than last year, which is awesome to hear. And this is a great way to get your thoughts out about whatever's on your mind in the disc golf world.
Yeah.
Somebody on disc golf on Reddit disc golf said, watching Gannon is like watching Khamzat Chimaev fight in the UFC. You can tell it's incredible, but it's boring to watch. The last 2 seasons have felt really boring due to the dominance. And I gotta say, I feel like that's not an isolated opinion.
No,
I feel like a lot
of
people are feeling that sentiment, and what I'm having a hard time figuring out is like, why? Like,
yeah.
What about Gannon is causing people to chafe in a way that they didn't with Macbeth? They wanted to watch Macbeth come back and win. People wanted to watch Tiger Woods chase somebody down and win. And for whatever reason, like the way that he plays the game, the way that he acts on the course, I don't know. We're going to come back to it. So let me just leave it there. People can think about it, and then we'll come back to it in What's on Your Mind.
Yeah.
In FPO, we go to a playoff. Val Mondahano cannot quite hold on to the lead at the end of the round, and Owen Scoggins goes crazy in the back 9 and is just playing the best disc golf of her season and some of the best disc golf she's played in a couple of years right now, and gets into a playoff, and ultimately Owen from like deep C2 needs to make a putt to put some pressure on Mondahano. She misses, and Val buries a circle's edge putt to win her first tournament in quite some time. You have to go back to Idlewild 2023, so essentially 2 years ago, almost to the day, for the last time that Val won. And remember that, she got hurt, and she really hasn't looked the same. And then here she comes, and shoots her highest ever event rating in a win, 994. And takes down her biggest payday ever, $9,000. And there you go. Val Mondahano back on top on the Pro Tour.
I said this in the reacts, and the more I've thought about it, the more I think that this actually is kind of some points in her favor for future tournaments. I had zero confidence that Val was going to make the putt on the third iteration of the playoff. None. It was a circle's edge putt. I did not think she'd make that putt. She had missed several putts. She was shaky starting at hole 17 in regulation, and I really thought that she had no chance of making the putt. And when she cashed it, I was like, okay, this is a moment. There are some wins that you're like, okay, that's a nice win. And then there are some wins that you're like, this is something that you are going to leverage in order to continue to drive. And it was not that long ago, prior to that injury, that we were talking about Val's place in the sport at the top and where she belonged in those tiers. And I'm not here to say, this, like, put her in the, we're shuffling the top 5 right now. We'll get into that. But Val could very much leverage this win. And if she won again this season, wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at I'm looking at her results over the last couple of years. Like, when has she shot above, 980 or better on a weekend? And she only did it twice last year. She's already done it 6 times this season. And it's mostly been, top 10 finishes because, as you know, Josh, you kind of have to shoot like 10:05 these days to win most FPO tournaments.
Yeah, you do.
And, I'm not here to talk about the ratings at Ledgestone or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like, there were some notable players missing. Some of the top players in the field are not playing particularly well right now. At the end of the day, I think Val played really well and earned herself a win. But, like, she has been playing better this year. And she's actually never shot 1,000 plus rated for a weekend.
Really?
Interestingly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, I think she's somebody who is going to shoot in that, like, strong 980s, 990s range regularly. And if other people don't show up and take the tournament away, that she can be right there to win. But great to see this, as I mentioned, is in fact her highest ever rating on a weekend. So awesome to see that. And you got to feel great for Val Mondahano. Like, immediate tears from her after winning. I mean, imagine what a journey it's been, right? She was like, we were talking about this in the reacts. We were talking about her as part of the big 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a couple years ago. And then, she feels like she kind of fell off after the injury. It took so long for her to get back. She wasn't right for a while, even after she got back. And maybe this is the signal that, like, she's all the way back and she's ready to start winning again on tour on a regular basis.
I hope so. Bring on more depth at the top of FPO. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Should we hit the playoff real quick and what happened?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. Or do we want to save it? We're going to save it. We're going to save it. That fits perfectly in what's on my mind, Charlie.
Fine. We'll save it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, what's on our minds? Stay with us. It's the Upshot. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Well, if you didn't already hear, brand new ambassador colorways of the new Octadorp for 2025 are available now. A couple already sold out, so do not wait. Casey White, Kevin Jones, Joey Buckets, and Ella Hansen have their bags up for sale still. Gavin Babcock's and Cole Redallen's colorways already sold out, so don't hesitate. Head over to PoundDiscGolf.com. Grab yourself one of these beautiful bags. Ella's got like the blue and tan. Casey with the black and yellow, looking like a bumblebee out there. Kevin Jones kind of gray and orange and blue. And then Joey Buckets with the dark blue, turquoise, and red trim with pink. So whatever floats your boat, you can get exactly the Octadorp of your dreams if you want to build your own. Also available now, Rufus all black blackout colorway pre-orders. They're going to ship in October. So if you want the all black Rufus, you like a little bit of a smaller bag like I do, go ahead and get your pre-order in and be assured you will get that bag. It's available right now at PoundDiscGolf.com. Welcome back to the Upshot. Well, what's on our mind starts in just a moment. But before that, we do have some breaking news. brand new tournament coming to the Disc Golf Pro Tour for the 2026 season. After the Spring Flight Open down in Florida, the tour is going to be heading to New Orleans. The Big Easy Open joining the tour. Now, there were some rumors about this, and we may have even mentioned the rumors on the pod, Josh. And I remember I texted Jeff Spring. I was like, hey, there's rumors about New Orleans. And he was basically like, false. Well, obviously not false, as indeed the tour is heading to New Orleans next year. They're playing at the Parc des Familles. I have no idea if they pronounce it in French or some sort of French-English hybrid.
Not bad for the French pronunciation, though.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's all right.
doing my best. And it's in Jefferson Parish, just outside the city. And John Houck designed course. John Houck, in the article from the press release from the Pro Tour, comps it to WR Jackson. So, you know what to expect from John Houck design courses. It's going to be wide fairways, big trees, not much rope, scramble opportunities aplenty, and like wooded wide fairways. Like that is the staple signature look. And Josh, I got to be honest, I'm super hyped for this.
This is hype.
New Orleans is like one of the best cities in the United States. I feel like the players are going to have a great time going there and eating the food and going downtown, and it's a fun place to go. And I mean, hey, a brand new course that's like they're still doing more work to get it Pro Tour ready. They're going to be doing like a bunch of additional landscaping, including adding water features. I think like it's clear that like New Orleans and this area are hyped up about this and focused on making this happen. And it seems like there's a great disc golf scene down there. We'll have Jamie Thomas on at some point to talk more about this.
If this tournament goes well, could you imagine if the future home of Champions Cup was in New Orleans and every year we just had a major in New Orleans?
Dude, it would not be crazy.
No, it makes so much sense.
It's more about like getting the flow of the tour right, but like even if you went to Texas and then came back to Louisiana, it's not really that far.
Right now, or the original plan was to go from Texas back to Georgia. Louisiana's closer, right? Like
it's true.
It makes it. You're right that it doesn't make perfect convention like sense geography wise, but it makes better sense than our old plan. So that's not a reason. And it's in a major metropolitan area. It's easier to get to.
I mean, it is downright simple to get to New Orleans. It's like tickets are usually really cheap to fly in there. I mean, it's a tourist mecca. I mean, it's like Vegas. It's so much more than Bourbon Street. Like my brother went to college there. I've spent a decent amount of time in New Orleans. Sure. It is an awesome place. That's cool. Like, and I feel like foreign players are going to be like super energized to come and go there, and they should.
And if you make it a major, that makes it perfect.
It's that cannot be discounted as a possibility.
I love that.
It makes a lot of sense.
And as always, I say this every time we do it, we get it, but love new events on tour. I welcome. I'm all like, even when I'm like skeptical of events, this one I am not, but when I am skeptical of events, like please bring new events, let them get trialed. I will always, I will never be upset at the tour bringing on new events, even if it flops, right?
You got to try stuff. Yeah.
You've got to keep fresh blood in the event pool.
Parc des Familles is the number 1 ranked course in Louisiana. The tournament is scheduled March 13th to March 15th of next year. So, yeah, this is great.
Sick.
Feel like I'm just all in on this concept. Seems like a lot of fun.
Had to commentate on site, Charlie?
I'll tell you what, if that's a possibility, you better believe it. Put it in my contract. All right. What's on your mind? Let's go. Josh, you're first.
Okay. We're going to start with tour timing things. I think this pivots well from a new event. Right now, we kind of do this weird hybrid with the European swing. We like European Pro Tours start up, but we also host things like Pro Tour Plus events in Northwestern Disc Golf Challenge or Northwestern Championship, and we held a major in the U.S. Women's Disc Golf, with weeks sandwiching the major with European tournaments. You saw guys like Ezra Aderhold who were flying. I think Ezra Aderhold was the only player who's flying back and forth every single week to try and play the entire tour. It's that contributes to a sense of burnout. It also contributes when we say, we want to minimize how much time you have to spend in Europe. So we're going to put only a week break in between two majors in Europe, including Worlds. And then you come bounce back, you hold another Pro Tour event, and then you host Ledgestone. We're kind of like, we're on both sides of the fence right now with Europe. Here's my proposal. DGPT needs to accept the fact that it is now a global tour. It needs to run a singular schedule that makes sense, and we don't run these overlapping events. Once players go to Europe, they stay in Europe for 6 to 8 weeks. And those are the events that are available. In the US, you run Q Series events, and you run them using tournaments that you want to keep warm for the Pro Tour, right? It's essentially a Silver Series, but pros don't get a benefit from it, right? You run DDO, you run Jonesboro this year, for example. You run whatever events you want to list on there. New Orleans, you run those as Q Series events, and there is nothing available. DGN's not doing anything. It is just focused on Europe when we're in Europe. And we quit trying to straddle the line of doing both a European and American tour at the same time. My compromise that I'm willing to add into this, because I recognize the finances of this, kind of on both sides, but I think, and I would be in favor of a little bit flatter payouts, because the players that are winning don't need payout money. Gannon Burr his season does not depend on winning 15 grand at Ledgestone. So if you wanted to limit winners to 10 and flatten payouts, then I'm good with that. But I don't care if the bottom of tour can't make the trip out to Europe for 8 weeks. I just don't. Fill those tournaments with European 1,000 rated players. I don't care who fills out the tournament and brings in brings the money for the pros. There will be locals in any tournament who will fill that out, and I don't think you need to cater to the bottom level of tour.
It's an interesting situation. I feel like what you're saying makes sense to me in 10 years, but maybe it's a little early for that right now, because there are a lot of American players who either don't want to go to Europe or want to minimize the amount of time they're in Europe, because it is an expense. It's
sure.
A big trip. You have to go.
It's expense for European players to come over to the US. And tell me after Finland Worlds that they haven't earned it.
I can't argue with that.
Right.
I think the bigger thing is figuring out how to structure tournaments such that we can give them attention, because that is the problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is not possible to give attention to all tournaments, and that's always going to be true to an extent, but
Turku,
Turku, right? This is a perfect example.
Turku got shafted.
I'm sorry, there's just no way that 90% of disc golf fans are going to be able to just lock in for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not.
No.
And I think Ledgestone suffered this year from an attentional deficit for the same reason, where it's just it's a little too much all at once, and it's hard to be excited about it. And I mean, I'm just basing this off of online comments, the Discord activity, just generally the feeling of how are people engaging with this event. And, maybe there's just always going to be some kind of hangover after Worlds, but it does feel like the timing and the structure of the season has been a bit of a challenge point for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They don't seem like they want to reduce tournaments, and then they'll reduce them, and then people bitch because there's weekends where there's no tournaments. But then for me, if there's weekends with no tournaments, I'm ready to watch disc golf every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And exactly. I just cannot really lock in the same way week to week to week to week to week to week, even as somebody who's doing this as part of my job. It's just hard to be engaged that much.
Right.
And I think the argument is pick and choose, right? Just you don't want to watch one, don't watch one. Well, okay, but is that the best thing for the tour and DGN subscriptions and all of that. I really don't know. I mean, it's hard to know.
I just think that like you gotta leave the people wanting a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? Like it shouldn't be that I have an overabundance and I just can't like think about the engagement with different sports. The more games that a sport has, the less it feels like any singular game matters. And it's even though you say, well, just pick and choose. Like look at MLB, NBA, NHL and compare their seasons and the way people feel about the regular season and viewership versus the NFL that does 17 weeks. It's just it's a different level of engagement when it's short and concentrated.
And yet, Josh, right? So like I'm someone who's fully in the camp of like reduce the NBA season by 10 games.
Yes.
It's just too many games. There's too much filler. There's too many times where people are playing 3 games in 5 days and they're exhausted and people are resting starters. And like, I'm on board with that. But the teams aren't because they make money selling tickets to the games.
Right.
It's probably a similar story for the Pro Tour, right?
It might
They
be.
host a tournament. They sell tickets. They make money having tournament. They don't have tournament. They make no money. So
I don't buy that the finances of the Pro Tour is such that like Turku Open made money for everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair, right? Like, oh, let's have another tournament in Finland immediately following the Finnish World Championships.
Come on.
Okay, we got to keep it moving because of time limits and many things to get to. Okay, next thing for me.
Yes.
I am trying to understand what happened to Eagle McMahon. Eagle McMahon was the brightest prospect in all of disc golf. And he had to overcome some challenges with his mental game when he was still like a child, a teenager.
Right.
Like he had some high profile blow up spots where he like missed an upshot on 18 that he could have won the tournament. And then he did. And he was unbelievable, right?
Yep.
He had multiple seasons where he was, dominating. 2018, 4 wins. He had a pair of wins in 2019. He got some wins after COVID in 2020. 4 wins again in 2021. Then he gets hurt. And he comes back, and of course, he wins the European Open famously in the McBattle.
Sort of.
But that's the last time he won.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I'm just trying to understand, Josh, what's going on with Eagle McMahon? Like, what is it that he no longer has? Because it's not like he can't throw far. It's not like he's at a deficit to the point at which like he's no longer capable of like competing at tour distances. That's not true.
Agreed.
So why is it that Eagle is now, shooting in the 1020s, 1030s and only top 10ing a few times a year versus being the like absolute lock dude to be in the top 5 every week? I genuinely don't know what's going on.
For those who have only started following disc golf in the past couple of years and maybe have only seen Eagle in the McBattle as, like that's their real big sample size of Eagle. Obviously anybody who followed pre-COVID knows very well who Eagle McMahon is, but I'm sure there are some listeners who are newer to disc golf in the past 2 years. We talk about AB and like his ceiling. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but they like AB and his physical capacity, I think, pales in comparison to the physical gifts that Eagle McMahon had in his prime. Eagle McMahon was the most physically talented disc golfer that this sport has ever seen. Forehand, backhand, the way he threw a disc was
the layback he got on his forehands.
Oh,
there's like those pictures.
Pro pitcher.
Whoa.
Pro pitcher. It was unbelievable and seemingly a little unsustainable, right? And I have 2 theories. And it's probably a mix of the 2. But they, the 2 thoughts I have. 1, you're right that he has the physical capacity to compete on tour, but there may have been areas in his game, such as accuracy and placement, that were never his strongest suit, and they become significantly more important when you're not just like a physical freak, right? When you're not, I don't know, like, when you're not able to do the things that you were able to do before in terms of distance, which he can't, he doesn't. Whether he can't or he just chooses not to for the sake of his health, he doesn't throw like he used to, and and so at that point you've got to like make up for that in other elements of your game when you're not out throwing somebody by 100 feet, and maybe those areas of his game just are not as strong or strong enough in order to compete with the level of game that you have today, which obviously has gotten better. The second thing I think though is like there's got to be a mental side of it. Eagle was never the like gold star of a mentally resilient player. You talked about his mental battles he had to overcome, and he did, and he was winning. But I don't think that a player who struggled that significantly with those kind of like mental battles on the course just excises them completely. They learn to control them. They learn to overcome them. But when you have a life-altering injury as a professional athlete, and you already struggled with the mental game before, I could totally see a world where that comes back and haunts you. My suspicion is it's some combination of the two.
Yeah, I'm just going back in the stats. So 2022, he was second on tour in C1 in regulation and ninth in C2. And of course, these are the stats that you should really look at because they're the ones that really define it, especially in MPO, who the best players are. So he was second and ninth. Then in 2023, he was fourth and 40th. So like kind of an odd discrepancy there where it's like he was getting the circle a lot inside the C1, fourth on tour. But like if he wasn't getting to the C1, like then he wasn't getting there at all.
Sounds like accuracy.
40th in C2. Right. And so then you zoom ahead to 2025 and he's 37.58 percentage wise, which is good for 45th and 50th on tour. So basically it's kind of like his C1 stats fell to the level of his C2 stats. He's still an elite putter. I mean, that hasn't gone away.
Yes. Yeah. And he always has been.
He's top 5 in C2 putting on tour at 35%.
Phenomenal like, C2 putter. And
great putter.
Doesn't step putt either. Like doesn't have to worry about any possible changes there. He is a phenomenal circle 2 putter. I almost wonder if it's like he needs to Simonify things in his mind. It's like, hey man, disc down, slow down, throw straight. Yep.
And keep it simple. I feel like I don't set to see him much on coverage because he hasn't been like up at the top that much.
Yep.
So it's like hard to fully diagnose what's going on. But I want to see prime Eagle again, and I maybe we're never going to see him like have quite the same ceiling because of the injury, and like it's different when you can throw 450, 500 foot forehand versus whatever he's capable of now, which is still elite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been on my mind. Let's keep going. What's up?
Next up, Gannon received time warnings again at Ledgestone a couple of times, and one time in round 3, he gets the time warning pretty early on, and to prove a point, literally steps up to his disc and rips it. Like, pulls a disc out of his back, walks up to his light, boom, it's out of his hand. Like, he was playing lightning fast, and what very much felt a little bit like a kind of protest, like are you like seriously? He admits that he took the 42 seconds is what they clocked him at. He says he had a tricky lie in terms of his footing. And then he was having a hard time getting a grip on the disc because it was just like, it was so hot. It was so hot that Calvin changed shirts in the middle of the round because he was so drenched. Philo also referred to him as a soggy bottom boy because you could see like his shorts were wet from sweat, which I never want to hear in professional commentary ever again in the rest of my life.
Well, referencing the movie, right?
What movie?
What is the name of the movie? Oh brother, where art thou?
I have never seen
Soggy Bottom Boys.
Okay.
Josh, lock in.
If that's
listen to the title track.
I will
go on your Spotify or your Apple Music and Soggy Bottom Boys, and I'm not gonna remember the name of the song right now.
All right, but that's on me. Then reference. I'm gonna make a formal apology. It is just a reference that went over my head.
I am a man of constant sorrow. Absolute jam.
You can understand how without that context, that is not a phrase you want to hear out of commentators.
Fair. Fair.
I was like, "Are you serious?" Makes sense. Great. It's a reference I don't get. Perfect. I'm good with that. Anyways, here, and then Gannon comes on his interview and he says, I saw a couple other people who broke the 30-second rule, and the other thing is like that same round, the lead card got caught up to the chase card. And someone else mentioned in the Discord that they are way more annoyed when they see a player take 28 seconds every single shot, as opposed to a player who chooses to take 40 to 50 seconds on certain shots. And I agree with that sentiment as well. And I think Gannon's also right that he is very quick to get to his disc, whereas other players are a little more moseying. Here's my proposal. I don't care about individual. The priority no longer needs to be individual. It needs to be group. It needs to be all about pace of play for the group. And are you keeping up with the pace of the tournament? That needs to be the new standard. You should have check marks along the course where you need to be at X point by a certain number of time in your round. Golf has this standard on public courses. They say you need to be through 9 holes by this time. And if you're not, you've got the course ranger who's coming over to you. And he's like, hey, you got to pick it up, guys. Like, you're going to have to skip a hole if you don't. On the Pro Tour, you need to have check marks. You need to be hole through 6 in an hour, 2 hour, holes 8, 12, and 2, whatever, right? Whatever our timing is, we need to determine what those round times are. If a card doesn't make their check-in time or their marker, you put a marshal on them. If it's just an overall group thing, even if nobody's violating the 30-second rule with individual shots, but they're taking their time to get up the fairway, they're chatting, whatever, then the card needs to be put on notice because they are not following pace of play. If there is an individual who is violating and causing the group to slow down, you use the 30-second rule as a standard, and you're seeing it regularly, then you call them. But as soon as you miss your check-in, that is your group on warning, and then they are on the clock.
Shot caller.
Shot caller? Oh, no. I thought you said shot clock.
Increasing severity. Listen, many points have been made about this, right? People are like, well, guess what, Gannon? You're not allowed to just cheat some of the time. Like, sure. Okay, you don't cheat most of the time, but then you cheat sometimes. It's like, okay, so to me it's a little strong. Like, I feel like it's more about overall speed of play. It's like the priority of the reason that we have these rules.
Yes.
It's like about overall. So here's the thing. They are changing the rules in 2026. Let's remind ourselves, what are the new rules going to be? You ready? Here they are. They're decided. It's done. You now have 45 seconds on shots from the fairway. You have 30 seconds on everything else. That means tee shots, drop zone shots, and inside of C2, putting green. Okay? So they're basically making the adjustment on understanding, like, okay, there are times when players, because of figuring out, they didn't practice this shot right from the fairway, some weird spot.
Right.
So now you get a little extra time. And you also get 2 30-second time extensions that you're allowed to use. To me, this is like a good compromise middle ground. And it also, I am hoping, will establish a clear rule that we can all agree is fair, allows players to have the flexibility to figure out their lie and line up their shot with a little extra time in the fairway, and asks players to putt quickly and tee off quickly. And this is all fair, which means I want to see it called tight from here on out. And if a player goes over that 45, they automatically are forced to use their time extension.
That's in the rules.
I need to see marshals be consistent about these calls. That's the other thing, because it is in fact the case that Gannon gets targeted because he's Gannon, he's on coverage a lot, and people are primed to watch him and clock him. They also need to call the competitors on his card who are going over 30 seconds or 45 in the future. So let's all agree these new rules are fair, and let's stick to that, and that's fine.
Yes. But here's my concern, Charlie. My one concern now, and then I'm done on this topic. There are going to be players who take 44 seconds on every single shot that they're permitted. And I think you are going to have cards, and there are certain notorious players who are going to take their full time, never go over. You're never going to be able to call them, and you're going to have a backup because
they're hopeless. They're going to go over.
Okay, I hope
There's
you're right.
no way they're going to stick to the
I hope
44.
you're right.
I get your point. I just think that the Cupcakes of the world and the Nikos of the world are going to go over.
I hope you're right, because and if this, it's all about if this.
Those guys are both putter slope
That's
players.
True. That's
too.
true. If this fixes it, I'm all in favor of it. I'm worried that it doesn't focus enough on pace of play as a card and how that affects the tournament. That's my concern.
I don't disagree with your premise. I'm just saying they've already established these new rules that
So
we can go with those and let's actually call it and enforce it, and the players too, not just marshals.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, next one for you. The FPO Big Five has withered and died. I don't know what's going on. Where are these players? What is happening in the world?
Where are you?
I was ready to crown a new world number one, and now I don't even know where we are in FPO. Kristen is not playing and had a brutal meltdown at Worlds. Holland missed a cut this weekend.
With a small field.
Missy was like okay, but then comes out into the final round with a chance to win and double bogeys the first hole, and has been having like horrible blow up holes. Evelina like lost his Yiplandia again. And I guess Silva's like overall off in Europe doing something.
Listen, Silva had a little bit of a mediocre performance at Worlds, but she wins European Disc Golf Festival. Okay performance at Worlds. Then wins Turku, and then wins Finnish Nationals. Listen,
maybe she's the one who's actually killing it right now.
She's got to be. I think it's just been not quite public, like not quite the right tournaments to highlight it. I think Silva's the only one who even has a claim to number one in the world right now. There's no one left. There's no one else.
Silva hasn't missed the top 10 since Waco.
It's Silva. It's Silva. Put the crown on her.
Because I don't know what everybody else is doing.
Oh, listen, a couple more good weeks and I'm about ready to stick the crown on Owen's head.
Seriously.
I don't know who else, but right now it's like, let's see Silva get back in the US, but that's it. It's just Silva, because the rest are a mess, and I don't know what's going on. It really feels like that.
All right, Josh, let's keep it moving. We got like 2 minutes.
All right.
Rapid fire.
Playoff rule update. If you missed Ledgestone, during the second hole of the playoff, Owen conceded the putt and said, Val, do you want me to pick up your disc? Said, you've got it. It's a gimme. Do you want me to pick it up? Val says yes. Owen picks it up. Playoffs are still stroke play. So Nate Heinold says, no, hold on. You got to play that. So they put the disc back. They putt it. They move on.
This is technically a penalty.
This technically, Owen technically should be stroked for this because she intentionally moved a disc. People are freaking out online about this. It is the biggest I do not care I have ever seen in disc golf. It is so unimportant. It is not that big of a deal. Everybody handled it perfectly. Playoffs are like functionally match play anyway, and so it makes complete sense why Owen would think that it operates like match play and that she can concede a hole at a certain point. I have no issues with that. Nate Heinold, as the TD, has to enforce those rules in a way that makes sure it is played properly, but doesn't have to assess the penalty and chooses not to, and that's the right call. It was all handled perfectly. I have no issues with the way it was handled. I think instead it highlights two things. One, we need to change playoff rules to just be match play, make them match play rules, and allow for those kind of things. Second, there should no longer be repeating holes on playoffs. I'm saying it. I'm done. I just am tired of watching the same hole again and again and again. I know that there are spectator considerations. That means you need to make it aggregate every time. It needs to be 16, 17, 18 on aggregate, or 1 and 18 on aggregate. And then you can guarantee that you finish on your hole 18 every time, and I don't have to watch the same hole over and over again.
Can we please get a little more aggregate playoff going? What's the deal? They got the rule.
We have the solution. We have the solution so you can have the spectators watch the finish, and we still decide we should just play the same hole again and again.
I'm all in favor of a modified match play rule for two-person playoffs.
Fine with me.
Essentially, that's what it is.
It is.
People, the counter argument people have been making is that during match play, you're allowed to like practice putt between holes. Okay, so just say you're not allowed to do that. I don't know.
Sure.
Or like let them do it. I don't care. It's a head-to-head that doesn't affect their final score. It is just to decide who wins.
Or final ratings.
Let them, nothing, right? It's just a attack, an add-on.
Yeah.
So I am totally fine. The way that Owen and Val handled that makes logical sense when you consider how a playoff works.
Yep.
It's okay, you don't have to putt this. Now, I get why Nate Heinold intervened. I don't think it was wrong for him to do that.
Nope.
I do think it was the correct outcome that nobody got penalized.
Yep.
Somebody made the point somewhere that if Val hadn't putted, that then she would have been penalized for a misplay. Right? So Owen should have been penalized for moving a disc intentionally, and then Val would have been stroked for not finishing out the hole. But whatever. Again, everyone can understand that it doesn't make sense to stroke somebody in that situation when the players who are involved in the contest have agreed on the outcome of that situation, and it's not like anybody's cheating anybody else out of anything.
Yes.
So I thought that was handled all fine all around, and to me, it suggests this is kind of weird that we treat this still like it's stroke play when it isn't. It's no longer stroke play.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, if you want to go to aggregate, then okay, we're playing stroke play still.
Right.
And I would be in favor of that.
Use aggregate.
All right, my last thing that's on my mind. Gannon being super good is good, actually. The dominance is good. Why? You may hate him. You may love him. You may find it boring. But at the end of the day, greatness pushes the sport forward. It pushes course design. It pushes other players to improve. It pushes what we think of as possible in the sport. And I understand that maybe some people just find him to be not as fun to watch as Macbeth, for instance, just to use another dominant player as an example. Mm-hmm. But I think that long run, this is for the best because it makes it much more interesting when somebody else beats him, right? I don't want to be mired in mediocrity. I don't want to have random people winning every week because everyone's equally bad. There being a North Star for the division is helpful in pushing the sport. Look at what happened in FPO. Tell me that Kristen absolutely killing everybody 2 years ago didn't force everyone else in FPO to step up and get better. They did. They have. The play in FPO is better than it's ever been. And now we got the 15-year-olds coming up who all they know is, training and grind. So I think this is for the best, even if you find this current micro world of Gannon dominating being boring.
Here's the other thing I'll add to that. It's I think in order to achieve that greatness, you have to have, that innovation. The way that Gannon thinks about, talks about, executes disc golf is clinical. It is detailed. It is savvy. And it's why he's such a good interviewer, right? When you talk to Gannon about disc golf, he can tell you things about his round that nobody else can say about their rounds. He can talk about courses in a way that nobody else can talk about. That's what it takes to achieve that greatness. Everybody else is going to have to catch up. And when they do, the sport will be better for it.
He seems more focused on high-level performance than many other pros. Than most, maybe.
It was someone said in the Discord that Simon has said that the whole field is just waiting for Gannon to get a girlfriend.
That's so good.
It's what it feels like. It really feels like that kid eats, sleeps, breathes disc golf, and it's in a way, like you said, that high level pros just it feels like he's stands out among pros the way he thinks about the game.
All right, Josh, you got to get to your law school orientation, so I'm going to say goodbye. We'll do Purse Watch and Picks Recap tomorrow, and we'll get everything else ready to go for Idlewild this weekend. Josh, great chatting with you, even though I don't recognize you anymore. Josh Mansfield, Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Idlewild preview show right here on the Upshot.